The city is in the process right now of going through the code and making changes. And obviously, that is an issue that I feel very strongly about regarding signs. I think it's something that needs to be changed. We need to change the sign ordinance so our business can be able to advertise their business, market their business. Right now, the way the code reads is too strict. Please.
Clearly, the system is broken. I've never in my entire life been to a place or lived or worked in a place where our locally owned businesses cannot grow and thrive. The fact that they can only put out signs or banners for 2 weeks of the year, can't have a blinking open sign, can't do what's called basic marketing to attract customers, because that's how you have a business that will be able to sustain. And so then basically our city is limiting how much income our businesses can make to support their family, and then to go ahead and support your business. And so this has to be fixed. And the steps that they're taking have taken way too long. And even what they disclosed on Monday, it's still not a fix. It's a slight Band-Aid, but it's not going to fix the problem. And until we update these codes and help our companies grow and expand, we will be stifled from any sort of growth. Thank you.
As it's already been discussed, we're working on this. We've heard the citizens, we're working on it. We're increasing the signage, we're increasing the temporary signage, and this is with our Unified Development Code. In this does allow open signs. It will allow the signs to flash. Now, we're asking they're not strobe, but we're trying to keep this, in a presentable manner. I'll tell you, I don't agree with the neon signs around the windows as you go through Hiram. I think it, yes, it attracts attention, but I don't know if it's really what we want for Powder Springs. So we do need limits on this, but I think with the new UDC, we are opening this up. You're welcome to come to our next meeting, and we'll be discussing these, and it was discussed at the last meeting, but there will be some major changes that should help the businesses within our community. Thank you.
Yes, Monday night, after that rather raucous meeting, there was a presentation there on changing a lot of the codes and a lot of the regulations and such. I can't say that I got to see it all because it was put on the screen back there. But, our code enforcement department and our community development all have got to work with the ordinances that we give them. And I think that we're going to have to clean up those ordinances so they're really right there and you can't miss them. So there's no excuse to do something that is not in the ordinance by employees, but also the business people new or here for a long time will completely understand what's there. And then if there's some questions, they can bring it before the council. So I'm sure we're going to be visiting this issue very often in the next year.
Thank you very much, Tom. Actually, I like this question because as a member of Planning and Zoning, I've been working on this issue for the last year under our revisions of the new UDC. I've been out in the community, I've talked to our business leaders, and have heard them that that this ordinance is too strict. I think the irony of all this is that as soon as the political season starts, the first thing that happens is all the politicians have their signs out there, and it's. It seems like almost sometimes the purpose of the election is to see who can get the most signs out there, the biggest signs, and it's contrary to the spirit of our zoning, to our sign ordinance. So we've been working on this. It's not finalized, but I know that it's on the way. The purpose of zoning in general is to protect overall property value, so we have to keep that in mind also. So,
Okay,
thanks.
thank you, sir.
In talking to a few business owners around the city, I've heard their concerns as far as how the limits the city has put on them restricts them being able to market, and I feel their pain. If I have a business and that's how I am to feed my family or pay my bills or pay my mortgage, then I want to be able to mortgage so I can grow that business and make the most money I can. So I feel like working with the new mayor and the council members, that we would be able to open up a lot of new things so that businesses can grow, so they can advertise, so they can get the signage they need, the advertisement they need, the marketing they need to grow their business.
I am also very aware of the concerns of the business persons in the city in regard to running their business and the signage issue. I think that what has begun in City Council is a very good start. And I think that we really need to allow the businesses to really look at these changes that are being made in the ordinance. I'm all about community participation, the citizens in the community participating, and the businesses in the community to participate. So I think that before this is all finalized, I think it would be a very good idea to allow our businesses to actually see, because they're the ones that you're holding accountable for doing the things there. And I hope that this will happen in the very near future as we move along with this plan.
As a business owner in the city of Powder Springs, my business is also affected by ordinances of this type. My wife and I have wanted to do more in terms of promoting our business, in terms of letting people know who are coming into the plaza who we are. I talk to people all the time and tell them where I am, what my business is all about, and they say, you're where? Then I associate with the cleaners next door, then I say, oh, okay, I know where you are. So signage would definitely improve my business and improve those in the city of Powder Springs, so that we can promote our business, so people know where we are, they can find us, and then we can prosper as we all desire to do. Thanks. First part in terms of improving downtown Powder Springs. As we know, downtown Powder Springs needs revitalization. Businesses have attempted to thrive there, have opened up there. They have not survived because of the layout, because of parking, because of a number of issues. So we need to take a broad look at the downtown area and the surrounding areas and put together a cohesive and a sound plan for the revitalization of that general area so that we can attract businesses. I attended a meeting recently where there's consultants that are looking at plans that will do just that, and I plan to become a part of that and give my views in terms of what the city needs to do in terms of revitalizing that area. In terms of doing what's different, doing something different, I plan to be very involved.
Okay, I think that we certainly need to, when I think of downtown Powder Springs, I think of it more broadly, not just around the city hall. And certainly around City Hall, we need to, bring in more boutiques and bring in more shops and restaurants, and perhaps even bring in, an office building or something of that nature if space is available. We also need to do things, but in the larger downtown Powder Springs, beautification of the area. You know, we talk about increasing our property values and things. You have to look at not just how nice your property looks, but what kind of things that you need to do to make it look attractive and beautiful to others. So there are many other things that I could say that we need to do, but time is gone.
Plans to improve downtown business. For the last 2 years, I've been a member of the Development Authority of Powder Springs, and I've worked with the economic developer, Stephanie Elworth. We've had a lot of good meetings on this. Currently, we're undergoing an LCI study, which is going to help us develop the Lewis Road area, and that will bring businesses into the downtown area. What we lack is a destination business downtown that will draw people from outside of Powder Springs. Right now, if we want to be entertained, we have to go outside of Powder Springs. We need something there which is big and significant and will make people want to come to Powder Springs and spend money from Austell and from Hiram. And so we're going to work on that, and we're in the process of that. So thank you.
Thank you. I've heard a lot of people say in recent times, well, we need is more restaurants downtown. Well, folks, we got 2 of them. And if we don't go there, and if we don't patronize them, they're going to go out. So that's what we have to do. And we've had restaurants in downtown since I've lived here in 1980. Come and go, and some of them were pretty good. If you remember Ernie's when it was there, those of you who lived here then. But they went, and it was just largely because there was no patronage from the citizens. So there's no way that we're going to get those kind of places unless that people can see, well, the folks are doing okay who are there now, so we'll put something in. Well, I see my time is up. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, to understand how to attract business, in my opinion, you need to know how to do business and have business experience. And so the fact is that it is clear that we have so many empty buildings that we can repurpose, but we can study and study and study. We've done this a long time, and lots of money, although some studies were free, but money has been spent. And my perspective is, to me, bad business, or to even think about it, is Lewis Road. That was not a good use of anyone's resources, where we could have done better to get together in downtown. Think and open up our minds a little bit. And so with the empty buildings, how can we repurpose them? Okay, to maybe add other services, but have we asked our citizens, what do you want? And that is the biggest issue. Thank you.
Thank you. As I mentioned, one of the best things we did a couple years ago was we added an economic development director to our staff. Since then, she's cataloged the land that's available, and she's cataloged the buildings. One of the problems with the city buildings is we do not own, as a city, those buildings. They're owned by private owners. So we have to partnership with them as far as a city to promote their buildings and try to find a business that would fit, and we're doing that. We also are doing the Living Centers Initiative, or LCI, which is looking at what do we need, what do we have. This is a citizens committee. It's made up of business owners and citizens within the community. It's been ongoing now for about a year, and it's still in the process. The other thing we've done is a target cluster analysis, looking at the businesses that are here and what we can do, and this is in line with Cobb Edge, and we're partnering with Cobb Edge and the state to look for businesses, and if the opportunity comes in, they'll be ready to bring them into us. So we are working on this. Thank you.
First of all, we need to understand what the problem is. The problem is there's no walkability. The businesses downtown now can't survive because there's no density. There's no walkability. They can do business on weekend, but Monday through Thursday, they have difficulty in doing business. So in order to fix the problem, we have to create density in the downtown area, create a walkability to the business. We've already got a good start. We have a townhome development that's coming. That will create walkability to the downtown area. That would help the businesses Monday through Thursday in order to survive. The weekend is just not enough traffic for them to survive. Based on the conversation I've had with our chief of police, we already have high standards. What I am being told that's why we have such a difficult time finding officers, because our standards are so high. And I think the standards is not the issue. The issue is that we expand our marketing to outside what our regular marketing skills as far as hiring officers. I think we need to go to other areas to look for officers. But as far as the standards are concerned, I believe they're already high.
Well, I would say that let's compare our standards to other cities that are working and see what those standards are. I mean, I set high standards in my own personal life, and so I don't think that high standards are an issue. But let's compare a city our size where it's working and they're attracting quality officers, or, you know, and I believe that we can, you know, certainly have a great combination of rookies to people that have some years under their belt. But if we're not comparing ourselves to other cities that are working, then we won't even know where the problem lies. So I think doing that kind of research and working with our chief of police would do well for us to know how to solve this problem going forward.
I think we do have high standards. Our standards are comparable to Cobb County. They're comparable to the other cities around here. We have looked at that. You know, overall, with our current environment, it's tough to be a police officer. I mean, how many of you leave home and wonder if you're going to come home alive the next night? You know, I mean, so this is a tough job these men and women are doing. You know, we've done a couple things to try to attract officers. We just recently increased our pay for our lieutenants and sergeants. We were not competitive in the market in that, so we've done that to try to get our higher level officers in. A while back, we did make an adjustment to our, you know, street officers or our regular routine officer to patrol officers. The other thing we recently did, not long ago, was we're doing take-home cars. So after a certain amount of seniority, they do that. Two things: one, decreased cost and increased decreased maintenance and increased officer satisfaction. So I think we've got a great police force, and we just need to keep supporting them the best we can.
Thank you very much. With me, public safety is number one. It's my number one issue in this whole campaign. I met with Chief Robinson, and I think he's doing a fine job. And you know, as a real estate title examiner, I kind of defer to him to how he runs his department. I think he's doing a fine job. I will try to interact with him as much as possible to make sure that he has everything he needs to maintain the department as he needs it. So, you know, like as Chris just said, we recently increased the pay scale to be more competitive with other cities. Public safety is important. Earlier this year, there was a couple that were murdered in South Georgia. They had gone to South Georgia to do transact an internet sale, and they were murdered. So as soon as that happened, I called the mayor and I said, we need to have an internet safety zone in our city to protect our citizens. And the city took care of that. They got it done, and now we have an internet safety zone at the police station. So thank you.
I think at the meeting Monday night, I saw, 4 new officers who have recently been hired and completed their training and such. Maybe it was 5. So I think that leaves us still 3 short, if I'm not mistaken. But as somebody said earlier, you know, it's tough all over. Every city and county in the country in somewhat places is short on police officers. Atlanta over here never gets enough police officers. And, you know, it is a hazardous job and sometimes not very appreciated, let's face it. And, of course, when people get a ticket or something, they get upset. And, but there's more involved in that. So I think what was said here, Anthony said, we need to support the police just as much as we possibly can, and I think that has been done recently with some pay increases. Thank you.
Our police officers are given a tremendous task to protect and to serve. So we definitely do not need to lower standards. We need to make sure that the standards are upheld, even raise the standards if possible. But we need to make sure that we give the chief all the tools that he needs to attract the right officers. And if we need to expand the net to look elsewhere to bring in good officers into our city, then we need to do that. But we need to work closely with our police department so that the chief has all the tools that he needs to attract the right officers that we need to protect and serve our city.
I feel that this is one of the things certainly that the council has been very involved with public safety, and that they have really worked well with the police department to ensure that we have public safety. Yes, there's always room for some improvement, and I think certainly having opportunities for the citizens to dialogue with the police department on a quarterly basis, or how it is strategized, so that as there are concerns that come up, that these concerns can be addressed. But I feel that the council is very concerned about the safety of all of us. Thank you.
I feel like the standards that have been set for our police officers and the pay that has been set for our police officers is competitive. The story as far as the incident with the couple getting killed, and I've even heard stories of the officers who talked the lady down off a bridge. I think our police officers are doing a wonderful job. I support the chief in everything that he's doing and the officers. So I feel like our standards are high. I feel like the pay is competitive, and they're doing an awesome job. So I have no complaints about our police department. Public safety, I feel secure in Powder Springs.
Well, I'll repeat Mr. Thurman's thing he said the other night. No, 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 no. I do not like apartments. You know, my mother-in-law lived in some apartments in Hiram. They started out good. It's only been 2 or 3 years. They've gone down. My son works EMS in Mableton. Apartments there were nice when I was younger, when I was his age. Now, he deals with a gunshot wound or stabbing almost every shift he works. He's on EMS down there. So I think apartments, you know, they start off nice, then the builder will sell them, and they'll sell them, and they'll sell them, and they just go downhill. They're hard to maintain, they're hard to keep up, and they tend to be a draw on the city. So pretty much I'm against it. Would I ever be for it? Possibly. You know, there was mentioned being downtown density. If there was something, I'd rather have townhouses. But where they're proposed now, I do not agree with where they're being proposed, especially with what I read in the ABC with them being low rent apartments.
I believe that we need housing for all sectors. We have a lot of senior homes, and for those senior homes, there may be children that might want to live in apartments close by. Now, I think apartments get bad reps. Post properties are all around Cobb County. No issues, been here for 35 and 40 years. If they're managed right, they serve a purpose. This millennium generation, everybody's not buying a home. Some of them move from place to place. They need places to live. We've even heard concerns about flight attendants would love to live in Powder Springs if they had a place to stay. They don't want to buy a house. They need apartments. So high-end apartments and managed very well, Post Property has proven that they can be done, and it can be done very well. Thank you.
Certainly agree that if there's an accountability and managed well, this could work. If we want to attract those young people that may have gone off to school and want to come back, and that's if we have something here for them to come back to, they may not be in a position to buy a home because they have student loan debt. And so something like a nice mixed-use property that would have apartments on the top and some restaurants and commercial on the bottom, kind of like in Vinings, would do great in a city like this. But also, you know what? Like I said the other night, being underprivileged is not a crime. And so you cannot assume that there will be crime in every apartment complex. If it's managed right, with standards, that it can go well. And so we have to change our thinking. And so I personally take insult for anyone to think that because people are in apartments that it's just going to be filled with crime, because that's wrong.
Well, I don't know if we've got, somebody called me last night late and said that there's some proposal to put apartments along with a motel and something else not too far from here. I'm not aware of that, so I couldn't really he wasn't for it. He thought that the hotel would be one of those, extended stay type. But I think that Al has some ideas there. I used to work with Post Properties, and they're the cream de la creamer in this whole area. If you take, like, for instance, Post Village over there, Smyrna, it's 35 years old, and every 10 years or so they remodel them. Now, you have to be choosy who in the heck you're going to let do this. If they're going to just do that and change hands every couple of years, no, it just won't work.
I personally think that now we have we have a sufficient inventory of low-cost rental homes in Powder Springs. I don't see that there's a need to bring in more low-cost apartments. I would support the possibility of having high-end apartments. We do have to take into account that as new businesses move in to Powder Springs, the people that work at those businesses, some of those jobs might be minimum wage jobs, and those people are going to need a place to live. So we have to make sure that we do have an inventory of housing for them, whether it's apartments or rental houses. So, you know, it's something we always have to be mindful of. Thanks.
I personally am open to having apartments here, whether it is townhouses. I think the idea of having, I can find the apartments up top and businesses at the bottom is wonderful. That's a great idea. But we do need to address all incomes. People don't want to buy houses, but they still want to enjoy the small hometown feel that Powder Springs provides. So I'm very open to apartments.
I too am very open to apartments, but I do believe that they should be mixed use, where you have the apartments on the top and businesses, various kinds of business and restaurants. It seems to provide a very pleasant atmosphere for people to enjoy and be a part of. So, I mean, it is a new day, and we have to start thinking about, you know, revitalizing our city, and if we want our property values and things to go up, we have to think of new ideas. Thank you.
I am in support of quality housing that's well maintained over an extended period of time. I think the issue is not necessarily whether or not we have apartments, but they do have the right kind of apartments. Are they maintained over multiple years? Because the issues that I've heard about in the paper in surrounding areas is that after a period of time, those units are not maintained, they get run down, eventually they have to be demolished, and you start all over again. And I don't think we want that kind of situation for Powder Springs. So if there's quality, if they're maintained, then I think that the right kind of apartments or townhomes could work for the city of Powder Springs.
We had quite a meeting about that Monday night, as I've been referring to. The city council passed, I think, something that was really silly with the charter, and it could have been postponed at least until a new mayor and council came in to look at it. But our city manager, from my standpoint, again, I'm outside the government right now. I can just peek into it once in a while as they will let me, which isn't too much. And I guess she's doing okay, but you know, we've gone through city managers here, perfectly good city managers over the years, really, we have. And they usually say that we want to be the city manager and we don't want a mayor or other people getting involved in what is our job. And that's what's happened in the past, and we can't have that again. Thank you.
I've had the chance to work with Ms. Connor, and I think she's doing a very good job. We've, as Tom said, we've been through a few city managers. I think we have a good one now, and I think she's doing just fine. I hope she can stay with us for a long time. I was actually at the City Council work session, which these are open to the public, so you guys can come out, you can sit in and listen. I was there for the discussion over the proposed city charter. And there's been a lot of misinformation out there about that. What that amendment does is it sets up guidelines, and it brings our charter up to date to be more competitive with other cities, so that when we hire a new city manager, they're protected and we're protected, and it establishes a contract period up to 4 years, but not necessarily 4 years. So it needs to be done, whether this council does it, the next council does it, it will be done. Thanks.
Well, in a perfect world, you're not going to get anything perfect. I did not vote for Ms. Connors when her name came up as city manager. I think Ms. Connors is a very hard worker, but in the manager's position, there are things that are needed: communication skills, good customer service. And I thought she was lacking on some of those things. Nothing against her personally. I think she has worked in our community development department. She's a hard-working lady. But I didn't think she met all the attributes of a manager, and that's why I did not vote for her at the time. As far as terminating managers, I'm well experienced in that. City of Powder Springs has gone through 5 managers in the last 10 years. It's not an issue. They don't work. We've let them go, got an interim, and hired another. Just that simple.
I can't tell you what I think of Ms. Connor personally, because I don't know her personally. I can tell you what I have observed as a citizen. And I've seen, and this is where I would definitely agree with Al, how you treat people and how you speak to people is indicative, because this person is the face, meaning of the mayor. And I could never have someone in a position that would treat citizens the way I have seen as a citizen. Secondly, I think where it's vague, because we're getting hooked up on, well, we're only saying up to 4 years. So then let's just be clear. I mean, let's just be clear. What are you planning to offer? Because saying up to, and then you vote on it, and then we are hoodwinked, and that's wrong. And so, again, if you want to give her 4 years, then have that position become an elected position, and they earn it like everybody else.
Okay, yes, I'm satisfied with our city manager. I think she's done a good job. She's brought our directors together. We've got one of the best teams of city staff right now that I've seen. It was mentioned that we've got rid of 5 city managers. I've been on the council for a little bit of that. I was on zoning, so I knew a little bit about that before. We have paid these managers, folks. You would not imagine how much we paid these managers to get rid of them. This charter amendment will allow us to do no more than a 90-day severance, and it will set a set time for the contract. If we do a 2-year contract, at 2 years with enough notice, we're out clean. We give them notice, we're out of the contract. Right now, that is not possible. The way it is written now, unless you can justify negligence, which is hard to do with a professional city manager, you're going to pay to get rid of them.
Well, I don't know, Ms. Kiner. I don't agree with the charter having to be changed in order to allow her to remain in her position. I feel that even on the transitional purposes, she should remain, even if there was some concern about getting another city manager. I do feel, though, the qualifications, I wrote them down for a city manager. I believe that this person should be more focused on a business degree, and the person should be skilled in business accounting and fiscal management. This person should, I said, this person should, the experience of the council, of the city manager should be skilled, should have a business degree, be skilled in business accounting and fiscal management, and have interpersonal skills that work well with the public. And this person should know all the laws governing the state of Georgia and Cobb County.
More information as far as more detailed information as far as the changes that's being proposed in the charter before I really make my decision on whether or not I agree with it. I need to hear more information about that.
I personally have not worked with Ms. Connor in her current capacity. In terms of conversations that I have had with people around the city, customer service skills may need to be improved, but that's the job of the mayor and the council, is to evaluate the employees and coach them. If there are things that need to be done, then we need to make sure that they are improving on those skills that's going to best serve the city of Powder Springs. And the mayor and council needs the flexibility in terms of hiring and firing and implementing contracts that are appropriate in terms of duration for the city employees, including the city manager.
Well, there's been so much concern about my experience in government, but I certainly feel that I have the business and finance experience. So what does, if I'm going to speak to Dr. Wisner, your medical experience, how does that qualify you to be mayor of this city? And then, Mr. Thurman, I guess in your business experience and in the past as well.
Okay, I hate to say it, but medicine's a business, folks. We operate under a budget just like everyone else does. Our city operates under a budget. I don't make the budget as a city council or a mayor. This is done with our city staff. We do ratify the budget publicly. So, essentially I will depend on our finance director, Diana, who is excellent. She's brought us excellent budgets, and I plan to continue to rely on her for her expertise. I'm going to surround my people with the knowledge that knows what to do with it.
My question would be to Dr. Wisner.
No, you have to answer first. Not that easy. Sorry.
I have operated a business, CEO and owner of Superior Landscaping for 23 years. I was part of the administration that built the new city hall, built the police station, the library. I was a part of those administrations. I've worked closely with the mayor for the last 13 years. I think I know a little bit of something about the city and how to run it. Thank you. I would like to ask Dr. Wisner, who's being a full-time doctor, how does he plan to run the city? I read a newspaper article, said that he was going to give 1 day a week, which is Wednesday, he was going to take off. Now, I know for a fact, the mayor is at least at the city hall at least 40 hours a week down there every day. So I wonder, how is he going to manage the city with 1 day? Question to Allison is, you have a lot of experience with business, but it's a totally different in running a city, a municipality. I think it would take you at least 2 years to get up to speed. If I asked you what was the DDA, could you tell me? Would you know what the DAPS means? I don't think you would. Have you made any? I'll stop there.
Okay, I guess I can address him without having a 30-second rebuttal. The city is generally, it's what's considered a weak mayor system, which means our city manager runs the business from the day-to-day, day-to-day. The council and mayor are policy-setting bodies. I feel I can do that with the time I have. I have evenings, I have weekends. I've discussed it with the medical group. I have their blessings. They know I may have to take time off. And these other two people are business people also, so we can kind of throw the same question back to them.
Certainly, I would agree that there is a small learning curve, but you see, I've been in a male-dominated industry for 25 years. I don't have a long learning curve. I get up early, I stay late, you'll never outwork me. And the fact is that a good leader is only as good as the people that they surround themselves with. And so each of you, when you started here, you had a beginning. But the fact is that I'm not going to rely heavily on my city manager. I know how to run a business, period.
Mr. Thurman, would you please address at the Country Walks forum last night, you addressed that Powder Springs need less rental properties. You as a rental property owner, would you do away with your rental properties to meet this criteria? Ms. Feliciano, on your financial statement, you listed a business at your current home address, which is on Warren Creek Drive. Can you respond if you have a business license for that business?
If you had been listening to the question really closely, what I said was in future developments, like homes, that there should be a limited amount of rental properties in those future developments. That's what I said. Now, as far as rental properties, I don't think you can control that. Section 80, all those are federal mandate program. City has no control over any of those issues.
I'm a consultant, and so I am 1099. So I'd be more than happy to, disclose that. But I really haven't been operating anything since my husband passed away, and I also took care of him as a disabled veteran. But I am a consultant, so when I consult nationally, then I get paid by, I am 1099. Sir.
Owner.
I'm sorry, there's a question. Dr. Wesley, you have a question?
I just asked her, so in other words, she does not currently own her business, she's working as a consultant for another company.
You want to address that, Allison?
No.
Okay. All right. Patrick?
My turn.
You get to add some.
Thank you, Tom. Actually, I've gotten to know Tom over the course of the campaign. We've had some chats. We have a lot in common. We both agreed that The Godfather 1 and 2 were the two best movies ever made. And Godfather 3 should have never been made. And we also like Charlie Chaplin, which I found out tonight. But I want to ask Tom, this is really going to be an easy question, is they recently had the candidate profiles in the Marietta Daily Journal, and under your questionnaire, it said that when you would go on to city council, that you were going to have some new ideas, that you're bringing new ideas to the table. So that's my question for you, is what specifically are those new ideas?
Thank you, and we're going to have to go to that TMC movie festival when it comes to town. Well, I've got them all written out here. One is, for instance, we have a summer youth corps. Now, this isn't some half-done thing, but what it does is we put to work deserving teenagers to do work, because we don't have inmates here anymore, but to do a lot of this cleaning up and stuff that we need. It's only for 8 weeks. It would be a good thing. So I would bring that. I would bring a different approach to economic development. We need to stop thinking just about restaurants and such. So I'll be glad to talk to you after that. Well, Patrick, if you win this election and I'm still around, would you support one of my programs here that I just mentioned, the youth program, the youth work program, summer?
Thanks for asking that, because I wanted to address that anyway. I don't think that having our teenagers out on the side of the road picking up trash is a good idea, frankly. I think we need to be more creative. We need to look at what their interests are, and we need to cultivate their interests, whether it's music camps, art camps, video game camps. We can do more with these kids. They have dreams. Their dream is not to stand on the side of the road picking up trash. That will not work. Thank you.
Are you asking him what to ask him?
Mr. Henry, Mr. Lusk, I would like to know, in addition to you being a business owner, what do you think is what qualifies you or is your greatest attribute to being a council? And Ms. Wisdom, I would like to know, in addition to your many years in social work, what have you done in the city, specifically of Powder Springs, or government arena that would qualify you or make you the best candidate for this position?
I really am getting very relatively new to Powder Springs, but I have a lot of leadership ability that I bring with me from the jurisdiction that I lived in for many years, Washington, D.C., Silver Spring, Maryland area. So, and I have, participated in development there in those areas that I think I have some ideas that I certainly would like to share and that I think would contribute to Powder Springs. I am, a member of our advisory of our homeowners association.
Proud to be a business owner. I worked for a large corporation. I've been in corporation for 35 years, where I held several leadership positions, managing small groups, large groups. Part of that stint was as a project manager. Project management entails understanding our customers' concerns, understanding their requirements, and then putting together a solution for those requirements. So I am a solution-oriented, action-oriented person. My question to both of them is very simple. Are you prepared to work as hard as I am for the city of Powder Springs to make it the place that we want it to be?
And my answer to that is yes, even harder, and I have already done that. I've been working with council members. I've been working with Keep Powder Springs Beautiful. I've been working in schools in Powder Springs. 29 years I've been a resident here. So yes, absolutely, I can do that better than you.
The only thing I can say to top all of that is that I'm yours for 4 years. If I'm elected, I'm yours. I'm here to represent you, what your needs, your concerns, and I want to work not only for you, but with you.
And I do have a question, if I do have a chance to rebuttal, or that's, I'm done?
For
For
The
the
last
question
time,
that was asked to
when the
me,
question come up,
but
take
if
this
not,
one and
that's
then
fine.
we'll get that.
You know,
chance.
as a leader, your skills are needed to give the features and the benefits of the project that you are presenting. And so that whether it's going to benefit the city, the citizens, or both. And if you are not able to communicate that and work effectively, then nothing will get done. I'm not here to be a dictator. I am here to share, to lead, to show, and let me answer the questions that you would have so that we can work forward and move forward effectively.
I believe that I have been cultivating relationships for the last 13 years. Anybody that knows me, even if we disagree, we agree to disagree in most of our meetings, but we never leave the meeting with hard feelings. So I believe I have relationships already in place to move forward.
Hopefully, you picked up from my introduction, I have leadership skills. I've had multiple leadership positions. One thing I do believe in is a team approach. One of my first acts, if elected, or when elected, let's say when elected mayor, would be to, start forming a cohesive team. Because they're right, a mayor cannot do anything by themselves. A mayor does not vote. And this one city council person cannot do anything by themselves. It takes a team of people, and I think I have the skills to build that team and lead that team into the future to make Powder Springs a great place to live.
I arrived to the meeting late, unfortunately, so I didn't hear anything prior to that, of course. But in terms of amending the charter, I'm in favor of it. If it's in favor of the city of Powder Springs and good business for the city of Powder Springs, then I'm in favor of amending the charter accordingly.
I have been to several council meetings, and I have never seen the turnout like we had on Monday. If you get that much attention from the citizens, we need to hear the citizens. We need to hear their concerns. We need to hear their concerns, and we need to address it. So I believe that it was a cry for help from the citizens. We need to hear it, and we need to definitely get on top of it.
Can you give us a brief synopsis of what the charter was?
Okay, I probably need to go to the mayor. Pat, would you feel comfortable with that?
So just a brief synopsis of what you're talking about.
Okay.
Okay, what is the issue was, Monday night was, a change in the charter. Okay, our charter was written in the early 70s. In our charter, it does not give a definite time for a city manager to be hired. They can be owned indefinitely. And so, once they're there, they are there. And when they leave, I think our charter currently reads that you give them 90 days severance. The reason for the change is to every other city in Cobb County, with the exception of Austell, because the Austell mayor is the city manager. Okay. The other cities have a time limit on their contract, so that at the end of that term, if you are not pleased with the job that your city manager is doing, you can just not renew the contract. If you let them go without cause, you do have to pay a severance pay. The reason for this, this does not bind one council to another. As it is right now, the city, the new mayor and council coming in, they are bound with the charter, and they are bound with Mrs. Common. And she is an excellent city manager. I don't want to apply in any way that no one would want to hear. I'm just using that as an example. That's all I'm doing. So the discussion on Monday, I know how it came about with people going door to door, while, you know, and the rumor that the mayor wants to become city manager. I know. So anyway,
I just wanted to know the issue.
yeah, so anyway, it takes 3 readings of it, so they can understand. Monday night was the second reading, and it takes 2 votes. So we've had the first and the second. On November the 2nd, we will have the 3rd reading and a vote. So that was the reason, the change in the charter, to give a city manager a definite time, not indefinite time to serve.
Thank you very much. That's all I wanted to know.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's matter when you start talking about amending the charter of the city, and that I think I would have, before making a decision on that, I would have wanted to get more feedback from the citizens. And I think the citizens were there trying to give some feedback, but I felt that they were running into some impasse by the city council. And so that is my concern. You know, people need to fully, I think the mayor was there trying to explain and helping people to understand, but still there were questions that the citizens had, and they needed to have their questions and their concerns addressed. So that's my position.
I'm glad the folks were there. I mean, I thanked all of you for coming. We need that kind of participation. Unfortunately, you know, if you look at it, yes, the room was full, or majority were against it. We had 60 people in that room. That leaves about 13,000 citizens we haven't heard from. You know, I do appreciate the folks coming, but the ones that show up tend to be the ones who are against things, and we have to look at the big picture as far as the council. You know, yes, we're serving 60 people, but we're serving 13,000 others. So we have to do with what's best for the city as a whole. Sometimes that doesn't make everybody happy, but we do the best we can to do that. Thank you.
So if I'm clear, the question was about Monday night,
Yes.
right? Okay, because I totally feel that this should be tabled until the new mayor comes in and the new council. But what I saw on Monday night, so yes, there's 13,000 people in our city, but some of them are single parents, can't come out. But the 60 that were there speak to their neighbors. They are community leaders in their own right. And their voice was for the people, and the people said no. But also the behavior that I saw that came, of course, you know, to how our city attorney spoke to a citizen was appalling, and it was unacceptable, and it should never happen. We should be able to listen, shut our mouths and hear people out, because if you want people to come out more, then listen more. And that has been an issue in this city for a long time.
I think Ms. Hudson said it best. Why is the urgency to push this charter through at this time and at this place? Why not wait till the new administration come in January? Why is such urgency? That is the issue. And I think we need to listen to the people we work for. If the citizens don't want it, that means that you're operating like a dictator if you don't want to hear what the people got to say.
I wasn't able to attend the city council meeting on Monday night, so I wasn't able to witness everything that went on. We were out campaigning. But I was able to attend the work session that occurred the week before, so I was able to listen to the discussion. And from what I gathered, the votes were there to make the change, and so they decided they would go ahead. The timing was right to do it now. You know, as a leader, when you have the votes and you have something you need passed and you have the votes, you go ahead and you pass it. You know, there's an unknown after the first of the year. So I don't think there was a lot of disagreement over whether the change needed to be made or not. I think there was some disinformation out there about exactly what the change was. It is a change that protects the city and protects a future city manager, and it's really that simple. There's no grand conspiracy to do anything other than that. So frankly, I would have supported it now, and I would support it in January. Thank you.
Talked about it here all night. I thought it was a disgrace. I don't think I've ever been to a city council meeting like that in my 12 years. The city attorney should be discharged. His deal gets renewed every January, or should, so they should not renew his the way he went after somebody who's here and who was speaking very eloquently about this. As far as the issue, again, I agree with everybody else here that it is just something that could have waited until the new council and mayor comes in. I mean, it wasn't that important, for heaven's sakes. But no, you know, and some of the council members who were there and voted for it, one of them's up here and one of them's out there. Thank you.
I'll make mine real short and sweet. I'm here to listen to the citizens and to serve them. Listen to the citizens and to serve them. I've already worked in the city with different entities. I love what I do. I've been a citizen here for 29 years, and I'm just ready to take my lead role in this position and change, grow, be transparent, do the best I can for the citizens.
I am really passionate here about getting the citizens involved and to have you as a part of really feeling that you're part of change, and not that the council is speaking up and representing you, but that you have had an opportunity to roll up your elbows and sleeves and to participate and feel that you're a part of the growth and economic development in Powder Springs. So this is where a lot of my focus would be, and my platform is in the back on my card, so you can see all of the areas that I am interested in focusing in. I would say a vote for Patricia is for advocacy, to address your needs and concerns in the city government. A vote for Patricia is a vote to ensure your word is being heard. And a vote for Patricia is a vote for progressive change in Powder Springs.
I am ready to get to work, as my slogan is. Let's get to work. I'm ready to work for the city of Powder Springs. I'm ready to work for you. I'm ready to listen to what you have to say. I'm ready to listen to the issues that are on your mind, on your heart. And I'm ready to put action plans in place to resolve those issues. There's going to be some issues that are going to be tough, but I think if we're in the spirit of compromise, if we're in the spirit of working together with one another, I think we can overcome those issues and resolve them. I have 35 years of leadership experience. I've solved many problems in business and for my customers and my students, and I'm ready to solve the problems of the city of Powder Springs, working with the mayor and the council in harmony. Thanks.
Thank you, Henry. You know, there's a saying, if you ask God to move a mountain, the least you can do is pick up a shovel. And I picked up a shovel 2 years ago, and I've been doing everything I can to help make Powder Springs a better place for us to live. Planning and zoning, development authority, just trying to immerse myself in all the issues that are confronting the city. And I want people to know that I know that there are people that feel like they've been left out, and I will listen to you. You will be respected. And when I don't come in with my own personal agenda at all in this. The only thing that I want is to make Powder Springs a city we can be proud of, and that's what I'm going to work hard for. I've worked hard for everything I've ever done in my life. I've never been the smartest person in the room. It means I have to work harder, get up earlier, stay up later, listen to people a little more, take your time to make a decision, and that's what I'm going to do as a city councilman. So thank you very much.
Yes, and I'm going to appreciate your vote. You're not going to see any signs around town for me. I just don't believe in signs, even if I have the money to go put them up. But if vote for me means that you're going to have somebody that's ready to go. I can't wait to get there. In fact, I'll probably go there a couple days after the election if that is favorable to me, and try to get some things going and talk to some people, and so we're ready in January. Again, my campaign is pretty simple. You're going to get somebody who's got 12 years of experience there. I didn't always do everything that somebody wanted to do, but I did the best I can, and I didn't gain anything by it financially, certainly. And I would like to have quarterly meetings for some reason. That business the other night convinced me more and more. That's something we need to do, is to have quarterly citizens meetings. There's a number of places we can have them around town here now. We can change it to this place, to that place, whatever. But we should do that and let you all come there instead of coming just every 2 years or something and be there and tell us what's on your mind. I'm glad to see you folks. I'll probably be seeing some more of you as time goes on when I visit. Thank you.
First of all, Powder Springs is not Mayberry anymore. I believe that we must choose a new direction for our city that drives growth and defines Powder Springs as a multifaceted city. Everyone has a budget. Powder Springs does too. One of my long-range goals is to move the city in a more balanced tax base. More shops, more restaurants, jobs, increased revenue, and provide a fund that will allow us to grow. But words alone cannot convince small businesses to choose Powder Springs for their home base. We must act to show that we are business friendly. I have consistently voted against any policies that make it difficult to start growth in Powder Springs. I'll fought successfully to hire economic development person, to establish department, to drive development. As our next mayor, I will work with businesses, the community to reduce restrictive zoning, bureaucratic red tape, and to do right thing to uphold the new pro-business direction. Safe and stable neighborhoods, update amenities, and will run services to make a strong, inviting, vibrant city. Public safety will be not shortchanged on my watch. We must have adequate funding, enough staff, technology, ongoing training for these critical functions, and zero tolerance for crime in our neighborhood. Powder Springs has a competitive advantage, largely ignored by current mayors. We are one of the few cities in Georgia to have undeveloped land. I will streamline our code and develop approval, strengthen our city infrastructure, invest in technology to support the service of all of these support we will grow to achieve.
Well, again, thank you for having us here tonight. You know, I can tell you, in looking back, as I began my campaign, and I went out to meet a business owner, and she clearly told me, if you cannot make a real difference here in Powder Springs, then go home. And you know, I can tell you that my opponents tout government experience, but to bring this city to the place that it needs to be, it's more than that. I have the contacts on the local, regional, state, and national level in government, but also with 25 years of networking, I have a vast network that will bring this city what it needs, and now, not in 10 years, not in 20 years, now. So while my opponents may have the inside experience, I know that I have what it takes to learn quickly and get up to speed, because as a leader, I know how to recruit and attract the right team. But secondly, I've been out here speaking with you, the citizens and the business owners, and I've heard the pleas, and I've heard the cries. And my perspective, if I can't get up here and not be tied to my notes for a whole debate, then I should not be leading this city. And so the fact is that if you have real leadership and know how to get things done, that I don't need anyone else to write anything for me. I know how to get it done. I did not wait for an invitation to take a seat at this table to lead and affect the infrastructure of Powder Springs for the next 50 years to come. So with this, I would encourage you to come talk to me. I'm an open book. I have nothing to hide.
First off, thank you to the Legion for having us out tonight. I appreciate that, and thank you all for coming out. I always get in trouble for this. Introduce my wife, Penny. I didn't get to begin with, of 24 years. My son, William, and my daughter, Kelly. I always get in trouble for not introducing them, so I better do that. What makes me different? I feel I have excellent leadership skills. I believe in a team approach to leadership. And I think with city council or with the city situation, that makes a difference. I'm a problem solver. I have a gift of the ability to make quick decisions. I guess that's part of being in a position. And make accurate decisions and plans and move forward rapidly. I use that in all my life's endeavors. You can ask anyone around here. I don't do anything halfway. You can ask anyone who knows me. I'm a workaholic. Even as a physician, I've served on the council. I have an excellent attendance record, better than some of the people who are not physicians. I attend the community activities. I attend the community meetings. In finalizing, I ask for your vote for mayor. I will serve you well, and you may not always like what I do or what I say, but I will do what is best for this city as a whole. Thank you.